every time they rebuild Hawaii after a disaster, it doesn't benefit local Hawaiian people. And you know what this reminds people of in Hawaii? In 2014, the Navy leaked 27,000 gallons of gasoline into the drinking water, poisoning 100,000 people. In 2021, an additional 14,000 gallons of jet fuel was leaked into the drinking water. In the past 80 years, it has leaked 188,000 gallons of chemicals. The local people had town hall meetings. The leaders of the military and the government just sat there and did nothing. Same thing happens in 2019. The military dumps 630,000 pounds of nitrate into the ocean off the coast of Hawaii. Nothing new. In 1944 and 1945, our military, the American military, dumped 98,000 bombs of hydrogen cyanide and mustard gas into the ocean. From 1964 to 1978, 2,000 steel drums and nearly 5 million gallons of radioactive waste was discharged into the ocean off of Pearl Harbor. When the University of Hawaii built the first telescope on the sacred mountain of Mauna Kea, they promised to remove their trash. And if they ever built a second or third telescope, they'll dismantle the previous one. They built 13 telescopes, never removed the trash, and then they want to build a 14th one. And during COVID, they thought, oh, this is our chance when everybody stay locked down. We sneak up the mountain, start building the 14th telescope. If they try to stop us, we call the police and arrest them. Meanwhile, the ACLU is documenting that 90% of the people who got arrested in Hawaii for lockdown violations were of Polynesian descent. There are people promising to rebuild. Oh, you think locals stay thinking about real estate? They stay thinking about aloha aina, love of the land. Hawaiians do not see land as property, an object that you buy and sell. The land is a loving, living, breathing being that feeds us, a family member. In other words, we're not her owner, we're her stewards, her caretakers. So what Hawaiians do, they have always evaded the state. They go live out in the bush somewhere, like in the homeless camps, or for me, it was the taro patch. There's a song by Shiloh Pa called Leave Some Land. There are still places where locals still have some land. And on those lands, they create places of refuge, cultural sanctuaries, ecological oases, which allow them to imagine abundant ways of mutually living off the land in a plural society in communities of care. Since the 1970s, local people have taken inspiration from Black liberation theologians and activists, especially Black Panther Party member Huey Newton's model of intercommunalism, where the community takes care of the community. You don't have outside agencies collecting donations, politicians pocketing the money, hiring wealthy developers to build condos on a land that they already suffocated, and now they want to build on top of her corpse. Hawaiians live by kuleana, a responsibility to do what is pono, or righteous, to heal the land, not build on her. If they build anything, to do it with their hands, their hearts, their souls, to be in harmony and kinship with nature. So what Hawaiians stay thinking now, 7th generation Native Hawaiian Kaniela Ing says locals stay thinking about the fossil fuel companies that have heated the planet, as well as mismanagement of land and water, tied to, quote, corporations that stem from the original Big Five oligarchy in Hawaii, which is the first 5 missionary families who control our government, rich, white, right-wing families, which paves the way for what activist Naomi Klein calls disaster capitalism, the well-worn tactic of exploiting moments of extreme collective trauma to rapidly push through unpopular laws that benefit a small elite. Hawaiians are specifically thinking about decolonized forms of global climate justice. In the short term, allocating resources to homegrown residents who give the Hawaiian island its spirit and identity. What can you do to help? Share this knowledge about Hawaii to people who are curious. And when you pray, pray for justice, for the local people to have the energy to continue the legacy of resistance against land dispossession. Haunani K. Trask writes in her book, The Color of Violence, because of millennia of resistance, the Irish people remain, and the Kurdish people remain, and the Palestinian people remain, and the Maori people remain. Resistance and the legacy of resistance to incorporation, to disinheritance, to disappearance have kept those nations alive. If you donate, please send it directly to local grassroots organizations such as Lahaina_Ohana_Venmo. Right now, the money that's going to FEMA and the Red Cross is perpetuating inequality, where the government, the military, and rescue organizations say, "Oh, give us the money, we'll fix this for you." Local people know not to trust authority in times of crisis, but to take leadership into their own hands where it will not be abused. Local people do this, paying for it out of their meager salaries, living 30 to 40 people in a house and in tents. This is how we have survived and continue to survive. And I say this to rile you up. I want you to feel how local Hawaiians feel, how the land herself feels, so that you can pray effectively. You cannot pray from a place of not knowing. And now that you know, because knowledge is power, now that you have this power, use your power to pray, to call forth our ancestors and the angels to come down from heaven, e ihu ana aluna, that which is above be brought down, and to raise ourselves up, I pi'i ana olalo, that which is below be lifted up, to enact justice.